Welcome to episode 218 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and Jeff Gamet's back on the show. How you doing, Jeff?
I am doing great, and I am so happy to be hanging out with you and Warren.
Yeah. And yes, Warren Sklar is here. I'm glad to have you back on the show. How you doing, Warren?
Like I just saw you guys. I'm doing good. Definitely good. Getting ready for the weekend because everybody works for the weekend.
Yeah, I think we're about 2 weeks away from the Labor Day weekend. That's coming up here. Excuse me.
Right. So get ready to put away all your white clothes.
Yep. And get all your long sleeves out. So we got a lot to talk about this week. We have all kinds of news. Apple may have announced something. We'll talk about that. iOS beta, always something going on with that. And I have a session talking about music. So plenty to discuss this week. So let's go ahead and start off with the news. And yes, as I said, Apple announced Far Out, September 7th event to feature iPhone 14, Apple Watch Series 8, and more. They'll be having an event on an unusual day. It's on a Wednesday, September 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, the event is taking place at the Steve Jobs Theater, although it is a in-person component with the members of the media invited to the campus, and it's going to be a recorded event. All rumors point to the focus of the event going to be about the new iPhone 14 models, all kinds of expectations with that, and probably an Apple Watch that will probably be coming as well, and chip changes, and the rumors have been going like crazy here. Still waiting on a new AirPods Pro. That's lean here. It's been over 3 years since that's been released. Jeff, what do you think? We got an event finally.
Yeah, finally. I'm going out on a limb and assuming that Far Out event means that we're getting a Scooby-Doo themed iPhone and matching Apple Watch.
Scooby-Doo.
The fact that both of you did that makes me love you even more.
Come on,
Right, Raggy.
Royce Raggy.
Right, Raggy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, we're getting iPhone 14 announcement.
Of course.
Very likely Apple Watch Series 8 announcement. And then after that, I expect we'll get the release date for iOS 16 for iPhone.
Yeah.
Since we know that iPad OS 16 is being held till version 16.1, which means probably October. So it'll come out about the same time as macOS Ventura.
Right.
Am I keeping my California locations correct?
You are. But we won't see iPad OS and we won't see Ventura for at least another month, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm assuming those are coming in near the end of October.
Yeah,
for both
and
of
we'll
those.
talk about beta here in just a minute, for sure. What do you think, Warren? I think this is going to be another, I guess, another event with Apple, but we all love it. Come on, we love it. We love it.
The best part of it is Jeff already agreed to purchase my previous phone and watch.
Agreed.
And possibly, yeah. No, that's what I heard on Tuesday.
What I heard is Dave is giving me his credit card to make that happen.
And the AirPods possibly. What do you feel? What's your feeling about used AirPods? Yeah, no.
It's like used underpants.
It doesn't bother you at all, is what you're saying.
It depends on the underpants.
Yeah.
No, exciting. I probably I should block my calendar that I could possibly miss it live, which kind of sucks.
I'm actually going to take the whole week off, so I just happen to have it planned.
This will be the first time I've missed.
Oh, I know. I'm
being
so
able to watch
sad you're gonna
a
miss it.
keynote live for a really long time.
Same with me. I think
Well, you got to work.
I could plan that's what last time there was one. I planned my lunch around it, and it was just the hour because it was the last one with the airs that they did. And it wasn't that long. But the keynotes are generally longer than that, you think? What do you think? 2 hours for this guy?
It'll probably go an hour and a half, I bet.
Well, they put it on our calendars if we signed up.
Yeah, but they never tell you how long it is.
Yeah, but they put the time on there. How long did they block out? They blocked out 2 hours.
All right. Yeah.
So they've actually been pretty good at blocking out the correct amount of time recently.
Yeah. I guess if
it's been 2 hours the
all
last few
things
or so.
So I might go for the extended. If I could get the lunch in, and then maybe like a second lunch, I could probably watch the show.
Yeah, tell them you're Hobbit, and if they deny you lunch and second lunch, then you need to talk to HR.
That's right. I'm looking good for the special event. I did get the email that I think everybody got.
Right.
Oh, okay. But I didn't go to the website to add it to my calendar, which I'm now going to do.
Like we have to, like we don't have.
Oh, we've already have it. I already had it blocked.
Like,
yeah, we already had it blocked.
We don't have an inner circle of 150 people who is going to tell us that the thing's about to start. But
Right.
add it to your calendar.
Yeah, but you got.
Have either of you played with the AR gimmick that they're doing with this one?
Mm-mm.
I didn't.
No.
Was it something stars?
Okay, so on your iPhone, go to Apple's website and then tap on the event, and when that comes up, then you have the graphic for the event. Tap on the graphic for the event, and then what it does is takes you into AR mode, where it opens up like a space vortex, I guess. In your living room.
Wait, I'm on the app. I'm on the website. I'm on my phone.
Yeah. So in mobile Safari.
Yeah.
Go to the website.
Yeah.
And hold on, I'm bringing it up. Okay. So at apple.com, scroll down to where it says Apple event and tap on the event, and then tap on the Apple logo in the event.
Yeah. So it has like some kind of. I have no idea.
Now, Warren, it'll be more difficult for you because you're sitting down. But if you can move around more easily, you can now walk into that vortex that comes up, and.
Oh, I see. It just keeps wanting to add the.
All right. This is not visual.
Do you have pants?
He has shorts. Let's go ahead and move on to another story while he's doing that. So otherwise, it'll be cutting into time here
by the end of the show.
Exactly. And next story, I texted you this earlier today, Jeff, is Apple will soon be sending payments for $95 million for refurbished device class action lawsuit. Apple last year agreed to pay the $95 million to settle an Apple Care-related lawsuit that accused the company of violating U.S. laws and regulations by providing customers with refurbished replacement devices instead of new devices when Apple Care repairs were required. And they go through all the mumbo jumbo, and according to your records, all that stuff. And yeah, I got the official email, and I am rich. I'm getting $14.15. I can't wait.
I'm surprised I'm not getting my $14 out of this.
I don't know. Yeah, well,
I need to go look at the details because based on everything I've read, it sounds like I should be getting $14.
I would think. You got your Facebook one? No, you didn't get your Facebook. That was Illinois. I forgot.
That was just Illinois.
Yeah. But yeah, so there is a lawsuit. I don't know. Did you get a notification about that, Warren?
Nope.
Because you probably never had a repair done. Maybe that's it.
Warren doesn't hold devices that long.
Yeah.
I swear I've had repairs done on iPhones. Not often. The lawsuit I put in for was the slowdown gate with the battery gate, the slowdown thing. And remember, you could add as many phones as you had, so I added like 50 of them. I'll check. Is it too late to join us?
Yeah, there's links there. You can check it out. To see if it is. We have a link in the show notes here of this article. There's some Mac rumors, but this has been ongoing for a little bit, for over a year now. So Apple agreed to it. Settles lawsuit.
$14 is $14.
Yeah, they settle lawsuit, admit no wrongdoing, and denies that refurbished devices were inferior to new devices. So that's.
See, Jeff, do that, and you'll have $14 towards the purchase of my devices.
That is right.
Sweet. So you're selling me an iPhone 14 at a discount price. That's what I remember hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get $14 off. That's what you're getting. Yeah.
See, 14. That's what I hear. 14.
Yeah. So Look for your money. Look for your money. Next story here. Apple seemingly preparing for devices with Bluetooth 5.2, which could hint at AirPods Pro with LE audio. Apple appears to be preparing for future devices with that Bluetooth 5.2 support, according to a filing in the Bluetooth SIG products database. Earlier this month, among other possibilities, this could serve as evidence of future AirPods Pro with the LE audio support. And Apple's filing references Bluetooth 5.3, a host subsystem that's likely intended for future products. However, in actuality, it's referring to 5.2. And Jeff, you being kind of the audiophile and knowing your DACs in Bluetooth, what do you think of this? I think this is something that needs to be done, and LE audio especially.
Yeah, the bigger thing for me out of this isn't the audio quality boost, because, I mean, that can be a thing, not necessarily a thing. The bigger thing is improved versatility and better battery life. So, this addresses the issue that people complain about a lot, which is when I used wire headphones, I could put a splitter on my headphone jack and listen to the same music with a friend. And this enables Bluetooth to do that sort of thing as well. So more versatility in what you do with your Bluetooth devices that support this. And that's the bigger thing for me.
Yeah. What do you think, Warren, on this?
Yeah, no, I have a few devices that use LE. I have a couple of MIDI keyboards that could connect to a Mac or iOS device using Bluetooth LE, and the lag is not really there. So whatever LE is, it's pretty good. That would also, I don't know if Jeff does that help at all with lossless? Probably not, right?
I mean, the bigger thing you just pointed out is reduce lag.
Yeah.
So improved latency. As far as improved audio quality, I mean, yes, but I'm not believing that this gets you the audio quality you get when you're actually wired.
Cable, yeah.
Yeah.
You think one day they'll get there, but not quite there.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it'll probably be something other than Bluetooth. They might call it Bluetooth, but it won't be Bluetooth like this.
Right.
Cool. Absolutely. Next story. iOS VPNs have leaked traffic for years, researcher claims. This actually was an article in Ars Technica last week, but thought it was a good story. The original story was a security researcher says that the Apple iOS devices don't fully route all network traffic through VPNs as the user might expect, a potential security issues that the device makers have known for years. And Michael Horowitz, a longtime computer security blogger and researcher, had put it plainly. It's contentious. It's a continually updated blog post, and they still think that VPNs in iOS are broken. He says there was an update on the 18th of August of this year as we record. Proton founder and CEO Andy Yen said in a statement, the fact that this is still an issue is disappointing to say the least. We first notified Apple privately of this issue 2 years ago. Apple declined to fix the issue, which is why we disclosed the vulnerability to protect the public. Millions of people's security is in Apple's hands, and that's the only ones who are going to fix the issue. But given the lack of action for the past 2 years, it's not optimistic that Apple will do the right thing. So I don't know if anything's changed on this. I don't know, Jeff, if you've had anything on here. It still says here, and it goes through a lot of the details of what is going on with security. And it's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah. It's disturbing. So Apple's fix, and I need to do air quotes, fix for the problem, was to add a new setting in the developer tools that's off by default. That should be on by default.
Yeah.
That can help break the pipes. And the problem is right now on iOS, when you enable a VPN, whatever connections you have from the web pages on your phone, apps on your phone, to the servers, don't reset to go through the VPN when the VPN is active. This is an Apple problem, and it's something Apple needs to fix. So the workaround for now, and this is ridiculous, the workaround is turn on your VPN, go into airplane mode, which then breaks all those connections, go out of airplane mode. The connections have to reestablish, and now they're running through the VPN instead of outside the VPN. And from my perspective, this is a horrible problem on Apple's part, and it is inexcusable that it hasn't been fixed yet.
I'm shocked. I mean, Apple is known to have such high security. Why this is still ongoing is very strange, I must say. What do you think, Warren?
I personally think that the normal user probably isn't leaking much they care about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from what I read, Apple sort of has to allow some things on just to work in the device. And from what they're saying is nothing bad is going out. And I kind of believe that too. But I mean, things are going, it's leaking, sure, but it depends on what it's leaking. So that's going to be the issue.
Well, my perspective is when you enable a VPN, doesn't matter what's leaking. If it's leaking, it's a problem because the purpose of a VPN is to take everything and put it in that secured tunnel.
Well, it depends on the setting too, because again, a corporate VPN, Dave and I talked about this too, is, you get the corporate tunnel stuff in there, but you're also
it's split tunneling.
Splits. You got split tunnel to your normal computer,
right? And
from there, you don't know what's going on too. So it depends on what you're using.
Okay, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
But if I'm running a general VPN, like in my case, TunnelBear,
whatever.
My expectation is this is encompassing system level everything that I'm doing, because it's not a business specific VPN.
Right.
Everything should be in that tunnel.
Right, but maybe Apple's saying like if you had that situation, some things would break, and like if we completely tunneled you between you and where you're going, Safari might not load or something like that because of reasons that they're kind of saying that it has to kind of tell the outside world of that VPN that this is a signal and doing something. I don't know if I believe it, but I think that's kind of what they were saying.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I trust things like ExpressVPN, which is not a sponsor, but I trust them pretty heavily, and they've always had a good reputation. If you use that on an iOS device, and I use Surfshark, and I haven't had much problems. And I know Jeff, you say you use TunnelBear, so they have to have some sense of security, only because there's not that they're breaking what their business is the point of being a VPN. So
I wouldn't know if it's a bad VPN until I get a letter from my cable company.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, Warren, what are you downloading?
What are you on the Pirate Bay?
So you got it. If your VPN, this is my standard. If the VPN is too weak to let Verizon know that I wasn't here, I was never here, then that's a problem.
I'll admit, I forgot to turn it on, so I did get the email.
I got it once. That's what I did it once. I got the letter.
Yeah.
And the wife yelled at me. I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing. That was a mistake.
Oh, it was sent to her. That's even worse.
No, I mean, I told her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I told her.
All right.
Because, I mean, it's a threat. They don't do anything.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother discussion. Next story, Apple extends repair program for iPhone 12 models experiencing earpiece sound issues. Apple this is just past last week. They extended the service program for the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro models experiencing earpiece related sound issues. Program now covers up to 3 years after the first retail sale of the device, compared to 2 years previously. According to Apple, it's like a 1 year extension. They launched this program in August of 2021, which is a year ago, as we record here, after the company determined that a very small percentage of 12 and 12 Pro devices may experience sound issues due to a component that might fail in the earpiece module. So good Apple's jumping on this, and there's plenty of iPhone 12 users. I believe you are one, right, Jeff?
Yeah. I want to take my iPhone into my local Apple store, and have them run a test on it and see if I qualify for fixes.
Yeah. Sure.
Not because I'm having a problem, although I may be having a problem. I just assume it's other people's AirPods.
Yeah.
Or their cellular connection, but I do have issues where I'm just losing audio, and I don't know if it's me or them.
This is actually a specific problem I had. I had one come to me. I had a friend
Oh, okay.
with an iPhone 12 come to me, and this was before Apple said there was an issue with it. So she came to me, and it's like it's a weird problem because earpiece doesn't work with calls, but the speaker works with music, and that's what the symptoms were. So it's like, so what I do, I wiped the phone, I reset it, blah blah blah, did all this. Still, no matter what we did, we couldn't hear out the you couldn't hear phone calls out the speaker. You could through earbuds, but not the speaker. So I told her to go to Apple, and Apple had just that week because it was it just happened then. Did the service repair program, so she got a replacement.
So they replaced the whole phone?
I think so. Yeah,
wow.
At the time.
Okay.
I mean, again, consider when these things are new and they discover this problem.
True.
Right as they do that, there's a mob, so they probably do a lot more replacements than fixing, not to bog down the.
That's true.
People there.
Next story, I thought this was important just as a public service announcement. For those of you who have a Plex account, Plex asks users to reset passwords following a data breach. The popular media platform Plex has asked them to change their passwords out of an abundance of caution after it was found a third party had gained access to one of their internal systems. This message was sent to all users. I received it. I think all three of us did, I assume.
I did not receive it.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Really? And I even logged into my Plex account to see if I'd get a dialogue saying, "Oh, you have to reset your password."
No, you don't get dialogue. They're asking you to do it. You're not.
Well, right, but I haven't had anything force me to reset my password. I've had no emails telling me.
You didn't get the actual letter from Plex. The email from.
I did not get the letter from Plex.
I did too. Yeah. Strange.
And I'm assuming both of you have 2FA turned on.
No.
I mean, at the time, I said, "What's the worst I could do is steal
your movies,
watch my movies." Yeah, they can watch my movies.
Yeah, I do have 2FA turned on. Maybe that's the difference.
I'm gonna go in there now, but I guess we do have our credit cards in there, right? Because we had to pay.
Well, I paid for lifetime, so I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, so did I, but I'm assuming that's what I would worry about. I paid a one-time fee for it.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other story, real fast, was today. LastPass sent me something.
Oh yeah, LastPass was I didn't even that came late after we started recording here. So
yeah, but it was actually a weird one too because it was like
LastPass is a whole other story.
It was like in a basement environment in the corner of the basement or a developer area. Something might have happened, but we don't know. So don't do anything.
LastPass is a whole other. Problem that company is going down fast, so they've really just abandoned everything within the consumer. Yeah,
really?
I'd missed this. LastPass developer systems hacked to steal source code.
Yeah,
but I mean, I have LastPass. I still don't have a problem.
Agile Bits should send them a fruit basket.
They should, because that's huge. It's always important. Anytime you get these emails, they take them seriously. It's
I think the Plex issue is huger than the
you definitely should take a look at that here. So, last story this week: Discover Card's offering 5% cashback on Apple Pay digital wallet purchases. Discover is going to offer a 5% cashback on purchases made with Apple Pay or other digital wallets in the upcoming holiday quarter. The card offer was announced on Wednesday. Additional 5% cashback purchases made on Amazon. The cardholders will also get 5% back when they buy stuff via digital wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay. However, they will also include a $10 statement credit for those making a purchase of at least $100 between October and December, and it gives you that cash back up to $85. But there's going to be a limit, $1,500. That's it. So, and this isn't for those who are listening in the UK. Unfortunately, you guys are out because I don't believe the Discover Card is available in the UK. So
it's not,
as you should know, Warren. So
I feel like I should sign up for Discover Card.
Yeah. Well, Discover's always got some great cashbacks. I mean, right now they have it for PayPal. So anything I buy in PayPal, because I might have my PayPal account linked to my Discover card. So whenever I make a purchase through PayPal, it automatically bills to my Discover card. I get 5% back on every single purchase.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, so they all the credit cards are doing this crazy stuff. And I mean, we always talk about Apple Card, and we get the 3% on some of the retailers that are participating, but we get 2% on everything else. So, which is fair, and you get a nice build up in Apple Cash, which I'm building up now. So, it's gonna buy too much, but yeah, it's good to see that Apple Pay and all the others are jumping in on this, because it's a great thing to have. So, right, let's move on to topics this week. Beta this week, iOS 16 Beta 7 has come out, and iPad OS 16.1. I'll explain in a minute. So they did introduce the two betas this week. Actually, it was 2 days ago as we record here, and what's happening is we have confirmation from Apple that iPad OS will not be released during the announcement. They're pushing it extra month, probably into October, and it's going to come out as iPad OS 16.1, which is now, that's what it's identified as in the beta right now. Available as far as in the developer area, as well as the public betas are out there as well. So they've been pretty consistent, and if you look at the build numbers, both build numbers are separate. They're different from iOS 16 to iPad OS, so they're completely different. Did you notice anything differences as far as updates there, Warren, on beta?
No, it was 2 days ago that came, and then today was Mac. No, actually, I don't notice one bit of a difference, to be honest with you, of them. I think they're pretty solid. I think we're almost. I mean, I've noticed the past two betas have been speedier.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a little bit. That's all I've really noticed. So that's good. And that usually, happens right before we come out. Yeah. Nothing really other than that.
How about you, Jeff, with the iPad? As I said, there's another article we have here in the show notes that does confirm the delay of the launch. It'll come out at launch. It'll be at 16.1. I think a lot of it has to do with Stage Manager and some other things.
I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed. Okay. So when I install a new update for beta, unless it's something that really bogs everything down, my iPad always seems faster afterwards, which makes sense because I've done a reboot. But it has stayed feeling faster over the past couple days after installing 16.1. And a problem that I was consistently having was that universal control would just stop working. And that hasn't been a problem since installing 16.1.
Yeah. So that's good. So we're getting close. Got to 2 weeks before the announcement. So at least iOS will be out, and be interesting to see. watchOS 9 is out with developers as well. Interested to see if that does get. I would assume will get released at when they announce it with the pending new watch. They're saying they have much in the watchOS either. I don't know have you seen anything, Warren? I think new watch faces and sleep tracking features, different stages, and workout app has custom workouts and improvements for runners. So nothing really calling out.
I talked about before the medication thing.
The medication thing, yep.
It pings me, and so I get a reminder now to take my medicines in the morning and night.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
Which is cool. Yeah, so I get that. Other than that, just like the last few betas is a little peppier, I guess, in the watch, but it's hard to tell. But yeah, nothing different really with that.
One rumor that did stand out, Mac rumors here, I got a link here, is the built-in iPhone wallet app will apparently be able to be deleted starting in iOS 16.1, as there was code that was found in iPad OS 16.1.
I've been waiting for years for that.
I know everybody's just wants to delete the wallet app.
Chomping at the bit to delete.
So those Apple Pay haters out there, you'll be able to completely delete the wallet. At least
Don't even
I
want
can
to.
only imagine that is Apple doing a strategic move to ward off potential lawsuits. Because
Yeah, that's true.
What other reason would Apple have for giving you the option to delete the wallet app?
I mean, I don't know. It's Google Pay. Can you delete out the Google Pay app?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if you have to.
I avoid Android devices as much as I can.
I think at one point you had to install it. It didn't come default. You had to install the Google Pay app for it. So, as you're saying, if I mean, for lawsuits, but if Google Pay and Google has it shipping, I don't know why Apple couldn't do it either.
Yeah, it's weird. And we do know that iOS 16 is probably not going to have a few of these features right away. The Apple's free form app won't be in iOS 16. They said this from the start, so it's going to be arriving in a couple future updates. And another feature would be the support for Matter, which is it's already actually supported in iOS 15, but the beta of Matter for iOS 16 will fully support it, but when they release it. And contact integration for Game Center as well as Share Play support for the Game Center will also be missing too. And we know all the stuff already on iPad OS, as we just mentioned, the Stage Manager and a number of other things that is happening. But that's how beta works. We got to test it. If it isn't ready for prime time, Apple's going to say, nope, we're not doing it.
Well, the last, not the Stage Manager, the last feature that came out last year was the continuity. Is that what it was? That was a big one last year,
right?
And that one didn't actually even ship in the release version. If you remember, right?
Right.
Yeah, it took months afterwards before we finally got that.
So I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they would delay. Why are they not doing the same as last year? Why aren't they releasing what they got and delaying that feature until it's ready, which is what they did last year? So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. tvOS. We've already talked about some of the things that are changing on that. Nothing really has changed. So we'll see that. And then I threw this in as a topic because I'm excited that Top Gun Maverick is now available to be purchased through Apple.
Wait, already?
Already. $19.99. Wow. It's yours. You own it forever. So I
feel the need for speed.
I purchased it.
I don't need a $20 Need for Speed.
I do. I love Top Gun. So it'll probably eventually stream on Paramount Plus, of course, because it's a Paramount movie. And I would say eventually it'll make it to other. So if people aren't patient or are patient that they can wait, then sure. I avoided not going to the theaters, so I'll have to get down to my surround sound system down on my home theater downstairs and get this thing cranking because I can't wait. Because I'd always, I don't know about you, Jeff, but I love the first movie. It was so good.
I really enjoyed the original Top Gun.
Yeah, it was my favorite. Did you like it, Warren? You like the first movie, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Right. Yeah, and the Maverick was great. And this is.
Well, did you already see it? Or did you went to the theater? Did you go see it?
I saw it.
Oh, okay. You're the only one here.
The best part is when he slides down the hall in his shirt and underpants and does his dance before he goes out to try and recover the crystal statue.
No, that's
the first movie.
That's Top Gun
risky business.
Oh, risky business.
I know.
Oh, I fell for that.
So wait, you guys really haven't seen the movie?
No,
the new one.
Not the new one.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
So why are you so excited about it? Why'd you buy it?
Because
I guess you want to.
They've been hyping about it for the last 6 to 8 months.
But
do people buy? So
buying a movie
people buy
like
movies
this,
that you haven't seen? That's a new concept there's
many. I've purchased movies that I haven't watched.
I've done that, Warren.
What if it's a terrible movie?
It isn't.
It's still cheaper than if I had gone to the theater.
That's true. It will cost me with popcorn and everything else.
Have to go to the theater.
But but you leave the theater now that you bought it, you're stuck with a horrible movie that you're not going to like. Why'd I buy this?
It's all right. It's all right.
I've honestly never heard of anybody buying it before they've seen it. Plenty of people love a movie and they'll buy it, because if you've seen that.
I've done that with several movies that I knew I wanted to watch, but only since the pandemic came out. or happened.
I worked at a video store growing up, so this is not how we rolled. When a new movie came out, we rented it for $1.99 and returned it. We never bought anything.
Yeah,
like that either.
yeah, those are good times. Yeah. So what I would normally have done in the before times is go to the theater, watch the movie. If I liked it enough that I knew I would watch it multiple times, then I would buy the movie for streaming. Now what I've done since the pandemic hit, as soon as something says exclusively in theaters, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then
how many movies you watch over and over again
again
that you need to buy it? I mean,
it's still cheaper than if I went to the theater.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
But I've bought a lot of movies with the intent of watching them multiple times because I knew that I would do that.
Right. I don't like
I do have several movies in my library that I bought to watch one time because I wasn't going to go to the theater and it was cheaper than buying it or buying a ticket at the theater.
Because the tickets are just outrageous at this point.
So you can't get that into Plex, right? If you buy it from Apple,
no,
there's no way to get it in, even if you bought it. So like if you bought the DVD from Walmart for $20, you could get into Plex.
Probably could
somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we won't promote that.
And actually, what I do is I look and see when is it available in which format, streaming or like DVD, and then what are the price differences, and how soon do I want to watch it, and then and I have picked up a few DVDs so that I could rip them and put them on my Plex and watch them that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have others that I bought that
it's been a while since I bought one, but don't they still include a digital copy sometimes? I've seen that, like DVD and digital copy
sometimes.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like Batman,
not as often as they used to.
Yeah, I had a couple that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. They all die in the end.
Don't spoil
it. The plane.
And it was the butler that
did it, right?
Just picture Tom Cruise like in the front of an airplane with the windows off, smashed, and a whole bunch of people on the plane. And he's saying, "We're going down," and that was it. That was the end of the movie.
And he's waving his cowboy hat, going.
All right, let's.
It's good. If the quality is good enough, you can see the gray hairs and the critters on his head.
It should be. It's 4K. So I have a topic here I want to talk about. It was another session of my MacStock presentation last month. And it was about music. Before I do that, there was an interesting story here in 9 to 5 Google about the Apple Music 4.0 for Android. Not that I really talk about Android here. It is now in beta and with iOS 16 features and Apple Classical mention. It says ahead of the iOS 16 launch next month, Apple Music for Android has been updated. It's got the features to ensure that it's in parity with the version 4.0, which is currently in beta. They added 3 new features, which includes introducing favorites, your favorites, and listen now, and new music updates. Well, of course, Android, you're 5 behind. So why? You should have an iPhone. So
I have a slightly different take on that.
Yeah.
Which is, if Apple is going to offer their services on other platforms, they need to make it a premium experience.
Agree. And they do. I've tried it, and they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things where if you want people to stay in your ecosystem, you better give them a quality experience everywhere they contact your ecosystem. And if that is iTunes or Apple Music on an Android device, it better be a damn good experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but they still haven't learned with iTunes on Windows is still a hot mess.
Yeah,
so.
iTunes on Windows is a great selling point for using Windows all the time instead of a Mac.
Right. Nope, I agree. So I don't think anybody's listening to this has an Android here, but they might be. So it is available.
But they probably know someone who does.
You might know somebody, so let them know.
I got one sitting right here on my desk.
Oh, I have it on my desk too, but I don't think we have to talk about it.
Well, don't say nobody on this show has an Android.
Yeah, so
I have one.
Some people do.
I have a Fire tablet sitting.
Oh yeah, I mean I have a Pixel 2 XL that I've never used, so.
I have 2 Androids.
Yeah. Well, because we're IT guys, we have to know. That's why we have to have one.
Exactly. For science.
That's it. So I talked about podcasts and I talk about streaming services in the last couple episodes. This week, I wanted to talk a little bit about music services and how to choose a music service. I really narrowed it down to about the top 6 different services that are out there right now. Apple Music, which we just talked about, which is great. Then there's Spotify. Then there's YouTube Music, which is becoming a big thing. We did talk about last week. They are now going to be offering podcasts as a feature, so that you can actually find podcasts on the YouTube service. But it might get incorporated with YouTube Music, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Amazon Music is very popular, and SiriusXM. I mean, for those of you who have subscribers to SiriusXM, it's a massive amount of music choices there as an option. And then Pandora, which is actually owned by SiriusXM now. So, and Pandora always had a good AI of looking for music here. So, it's something that was really a lot of choices here. So, I guess what's the best service and which one do you really choose? Because it's just there's so many different choices out there. Many of the services, some of the services have a free trial. I don't know if Apple Music still offering a free trial? I mean, I know it did when it first came out.
3 months.
Is it still 3 months?
And I think Best Buy, you could actually just walk in and say I want it, and they'll give it to you. Yeah,
so you have that. So if you start a free trial, like I said, to see if you like it, because of all the ones I mentioned, you can try that. I believe Apple YouTube Music will do that because YouTube TV lets you do a trial. Spotify does have a free tier, so if you decide, I'll go with Spotify and just it's free. It does have ads, so you'll have to you'll definitely have to see that. But they tend to offer pretty much the same music. I think most of these days, I'm thinking back, many of the services, some didn't have contracts with others with music distribution, so it really varied. But these days, they do pretty much have the same music. So if you want whichever you choose, really you're going to get a good experience for the most part. When you look at a streaming service like SiriusXM for music, I mean, they have besides all the different channels they have for besides music, they always have politics and sports and all that stuff. It is streamable through the streaming app, and the streaming app does work with CarPlay. Or many of you, I do, have a satellite radio in your car and are still using that. So those are some of the top things of what's going on with music these days with the streaming services. There are other streamers out there too, though. You have streamers like iHeartRadio, Odyssey, which is formerly CBS Networks. They have just incredible amounts of music choices. I mean, you have 80s and 90s, and they have all these channels that you can go and listen to the music here that offer free music. And sometimes they have ads, and I think actually all both those tend to have ads. Pandora has a lot of does offer free music, but they do have ads. But I think Pandora is a better experience in the sense that with the AI and understanding how you listen and what you pick, that you do thumbs up, thumbs down, and all that stuff, and creating stations for specific and artists that you like. Also, with Odyssey and TuneIn Radio is another one, and iHeartRadio, you have local radio stations that are available through those services. And all three of those are working together. Odyssey kind of keeps the CBS stations locally. But there's still a lot of good music stations, and there's news stations that you can listen to through those as well. So it's definitely something that you have to think about when it comes to the choices here. So I think all three of us have Apple Music. Have any of you dabbled into any of the other services I mentioned here?
All of them, I think, at one point.
Except
for Sirius, maybe.
I haven't used Sirius either.
So I mean, I'll make a quick point on it. My only point is there's two types of things that you're describing, and one is like a radio station based on your taste, and I think they all kind of do the same with that. I think the free ones aren't quite as good still, but with the ads are terrible.
Yeah, they can be.
And then with the other part of it is, hey, music service, play this exact song,
right?
Or hey, music service, play this new exact album. And at that point, you're really looking at anything paid because nothing free is ever going to do that. So you're going to get Apple Music. I think Spotify Premium will let you do that.
Mhm.
Amazon Music sometimes will, but a lot of times they'll say, you could get Amazon Music. I forget what they call it, but they're plus. They have a they have a version of a higher tier,
right?
If you don't get the artist you want, and I don't think any of the other ones have that where you could just say, "Hey, music thing, play this exact song by this person."
I think Apple Music you can. It sometimes has been a challenge.
No, Apple Music. No, that's one of them. So Apple Music does it. Spotify,
right?
Maybe Pandora, and Amazon Music.
Yeah, Amazon Music.
Amazon Music,
Music
and
will do it.
And Google Music. Okay, but the other ones are more like radio stations, right? They're basically
right.
Sirius and iHeart, Audacity, Pandora. I'm not even sure if Pandora lets you pick a song. I don't think it does.
No,
I think I tried.
It's based on a
station based
on an artist.
If you say play Elton John, it's going to play Elton John type stuff. So yeah.
And with my experience with Sirius XM, and they've incorporated Pandora within Sirius XM. They do have a channel they've set up that you can listen, and it does give you the opportunity to listen to that particular channel based on that stuff. So that's something that does help when it comes to that. I've been a subscriber for many years with SiriusXM. I know a lot of people kind of are not too excited about it. It can be pricey, but there are some pretty amazing channels that SiriusXM has, like the Pulse and Classic Vinyl and Classic Rewind, and there's so many other channels that they have from music. If you like Howard Stern, obviously you can get that part of it, as far as, and then politics and a lot of other things too. But
I had a free trial 7 years ago.
Yeah,
they're still sending me letters and emails.
Oh yeah,
we could extend your trial. But we do we say $80? Now we're saying $50. It's $50.
Yeah,
you can pay $50 now for it. I don't even have a car that I could.
Oh yeah, because your Tesla is not going to have SiriusXM.
The car I had 7 years ago had that feature, and now I guess you could get on. You get online. So.
But yeah, Warren, my SiriusXM experience was getting letters in the mail saying, "Hey, we want to extend your free trial."
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't think I actually have any devices that support this. And it turns out, no, my Prius had SiriusXM support. But I had no idea, and I never turned it on.
Yeah.
When you buy a new car, they give you a free trial.
They used to have like the deals websites. They used to have a thing where every so often you could call. They would say, "Call SiriusXM," and they gave you a word for word script that you tell them the customer service, and that triggers. It's like a trigger something where they'll give you oh, you said that, we'll give you, it's now $5 instead of $180, and I think
I do it every year. You have to call them, and they're going to charge. You get the bill, and it's like double. I'm like, no, come on, Pete, guys. I've been a customer forever. You should be giving me the deal. But I mean, I think a lot.
I like Howard Stern.
Yeah, I mean, he's fun to listen to, and the music channels are I think they're great, because I have gone to listen to a lot of them over the years, and they have Road Trip Radio, they have a dedicated Beatles channel, they have the Bridge, for our friend Dave Hamilton, he's got a Fish channel, so you can listen to Fish all the time. Pop Rocks is a great channel that gives a little mix of the 90s and 2000s and 2010s, and so they've really done some great things, and then on the app itself, you do have a lot of extended things, like extended mixes for the 80s or the 90s and stuff. So if you're super into music, and I really think that it does a great job with that. Now I have a Sonos Move speaker, and Sonos has a pretty amazing app that manages it. Well, I can link every single service that I just mentioned into that app, and so I've got it aggregated so every place, including the radio stations from Odyssey and others I have in there too. So if you go into the music now, I mean, I've got it all listed here, including Audible. I can listen to all my Audible books right through the Sonos app that's dedicated for my Sonos Move. So you have other services there too. Plex just got out of the music service. They were offering music, and then they decided they decided to get out of that just not too long ago. One other service I didn't mention, which is I think it's kind of like an underdog, and people don't really think about it, is Radio Paradise. Jeff, have you?
Oh yeah.
People have forgotten about it, but it's such a
That's
cool.
not the one I thought you were going to say, but
No.
yeah.
Radio Paradise is kind of a fun thing, and they've got different breakdowns of different music. It's all listener supported. It's commercial free, and they have different channels that you can go through on the Radio Paradise app. It's absolutely free. You know, they have a main mix, a mellow mix, a rock mix, and the world mix, and you can just go in and listen, and you can go back and rewind, and it's all curated. They have disc jockeys and DJs that are on all the time. So, which one were you thinking I was going to say?
Soma FM.
Soma, yeah, I've seen that too. I haven't used that in a long time though.
Well, I mean, Soma, it's more like underground music and alt music, and it's donation based,
right? And that's kind of how Radio Paradise works too.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just so many different music services out there to choose from. So I guess just to kind of summarize, where do you go? I mean, you just have to go and try each one of them out and see what's best for you.
SoundCloud's done on there.
SoundCloud, that's available too. They got a lot of indie stuff on SoundCloud, and we do publish I published a podcast on SoundCloud, so they do podcasts as well. So like I said, it really just boils down to what service is going to work with you best. And with YouTube, I have a YouTube Premium account because I'm paying for that more so for the reasoning of I hate the ads. So, but the thing is, when you get YouTube Premium, it's packaged with the YouTube Music, so I have it, no problem, which is great. So you have that. As you mentioned, Warren, about Amazon Music. Amazon does have their free tier. They don't have anywhere near as many choices of music. I think it's like maybe 3 million, which is a lot. But I think that if you pay extra outside of your Amazon Prime, then it brings you out to the big amounts. But why? When you have, we all have the Apple bundle, so we're doing the Apple One bundle, so we already have Apple Music.
So I don't have the Prime version of Amazon. And what's cool about the speakers from Amazon is you could tie a bunch of them in there too.
Right.
And if you say, "Hey, lady, play this," it will say either playing it from Amazon or playing from Apple Music most of the time.
And I have the skill set dedicated to Apple Music for me, so I have them in different rooms. Like the bathroom's the most important one, but
the only difference
taking a shower.
The only difference, I have a spot in the show, and I think if you play it from Apple Music, you don't get the lyrics on the screen.
Yeah,
so that's the one difference I saw.
Yeah. So yeah. I hope that was a good review of what we have for music services. They're just, like I said, it's just so many to choose from. How do you decide? It just, you just got to listen to each one of them and see what's best for you. It's really, I think, don't you guys agree with that?
Yeah. We get them all. I mean, yeah, get the free ones at least.
Yeah, I mean, even there's some people who just don't want to pay for it, but there is so many different. There's so much free stuff out there. Even TuneIn Radio, yeah. Unfortunately, you have to listen to their ads before you listen to the content, and they want, because everybody wants they want a piece of the pie. They want to make a bit of cash on this stuff, but also they have to pay. They have to pay rights to be able to play music too. They got to pay the artists. So when they offer this stuff, you got to think of that in mind too when it's on there. So.
Yeah, because I like real fast. I like iHeart because
iHeart's good.
They're actually based out of I think they're based out of Europe. I think
I believe they are, but a lot of iHeart stations around the country, like Chicago, has like 3 stations here that are a part of the iHeart company.
It's a global. Yeah, so anyways,
it's a media company.
They were huge, and when I lived in London, they were huge, and there was like 3 or 4 iHeart radio stations on the normal dials.
They've got a lot of partnerships with, like, I think them and TuneIn joined up, and they have a lot of the stations some of the stations that play a lot of cool music that you can listen to and find.
And they're having a kick-ass music festival next month in Vegas that I really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So look at that. If you get some time, look at the iHeart Music Festival in Vegas.
Yeah, I think I've heard about that. Yeah, it's supposed to be really cool.
It's got everything. Yeah, it's got everybody. It's going to be good.
So I hope everybody enjoyed that. I hope everybody enjoyed that. That was just kind of a review, and you got the 3 things I covered during MacStock, and I thought there was some good information with the music. And anything you think we missed, shoot us an email and let us know. So with the remaining time left, we got a little bit. We got one thing we could probably talk about here really quick, and that's the best secure notes apps for iOS, iPadOS, and macOS for that matter, to keep your thoughts private. Our show friend Andrew Orr wrote this article last week here on Apple Insider, and he talks about some of the different secure notes apps that ensure private thoughts and information remain confidential, and having a secure note apps. And I won't talk too much about Mac, but for the Apple Notes app, it does have a way of you actually can putting in a private key and it's locked, and no prying eyes can go in there using the iCloud tools. Jeff, I don't. Are you an Apple Notes user, Jeff? I couldn't remember if you are or not.
Not at all.
Not at all. Which Notes app do you use?
I use Notability.
Notability. Okay, I've got that too.
But I also use OneNote.
Oh yeah. Add Microsoft OneNote's great.
Yeah. It depends on what I'm doing, what I use.
Absolutely.
And my secure notes preference is actually not in Andrew's app or article.
Oh, he didn't even mention. Okay. He didn't mention the OneNote. Yeah. OneNote is an Apple. It has a Mac version. It has an iOS version. So that's kind of surprising, actually. Yeah, he talked about standard notes and the secure note app, Notes Nook. I didn't even know that one. That's a new one. And then like I said, mentioning the secure note app in iCloud Keychain, you can actually go into the keychain and create a really unorthodox way of doing that. Another app that's actually not mentioned here too is 1Password. For the matter of fact, you can actually put a note in 1Password and be able to.
That's my preference.
Yeah, and you'd be able to add a note there too. So this probably could be a more wider topic we could talk about here in a future show here to really dive a little deeper on this. But Warren, do you use any note taking apps? Do you keep notes?
No, I mean, I have a few that I'll put in a notes app, but nothing. I mean, it's like a graveyard when I look in there of things that I just. Most of it's just where I parked.
I've just gotten so all in on Apple Notes. I can't stop using it. I keep notes here for this show, and I haven't had really much of a need for secure notes, but I think 1Password's probably my favorite place to keep a super secure note. If it's a particular password or a code or something like that, bank account information, those kinds of notes.
Yeah. I found for me, notes tend to be very transient, or they're something that I need to keep and it needs to be secure. So that means 1Password for the stuff that needs to be secure, Tot for everything that's going to be transient, and then everything else. Like if I'm taking notes at an event, that's probably Notability. And if I need to keep track of notes for, say, like a conference I'm going to, all of the notes related to the conference will end up in OneNote.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So, but maybe we go deeper on this. I think we talked about this in the past, but it's always a good refresher because there's just so many note taking apps out there. Honestly, I mean, especially on the iPad. With GoodNotes and Notability and so many others, and OneNote for that matter. And the OneNote's free with Microsoft, which is surprising. I mean, other than if you want to sync it,
it's really good.
It is impressive, and I use it for work. I mean, because we use OneNote obviously on our Windows machines, but I'm using it on my Mac too. So
yep. I do that, and it syncs well.
Yeah, it syncs really well, and syncs with OneDrive and on the Microsoft side if you have OneDrive account. So it's had its bumps in the road. I'll have to say, dealing with the database, the way the OneNote works, and my past experience, I'm sure Warren can attest to that too. With Windows, it was god awful, and then once you started using OneDrive, it made a huge thing. The .one file that and that people would be backing up their notes, and they would have thousands and thousands of notes, and they wonder why it keeps crashing and doesn't sync. So
I just open text edit and put what I need in there and close it out, and I'm done.
Yeah,
when I'm done with it.
You're out of control, Warren.
You are.
I mean, how many notes do you need to keep forever? I don't know. I can't think of one note that I need to keep longer than a week, maybe.
Yeah, but
You sound like a great candidate for tot.
Is that a fruit?
You must explain what Todd is.
Okay, TOT. It's from Icon Factory,
Okay.
and it's an app that's designed for notes that are going to be transient. And on your Mac, it lives in your menu bar, and you have, I want to say it's like 7 notes that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can just put whatever you want into each of these notes. And then on your iPhone or iPad, of course, they're all there too. So you have a place to keep all that transient information, and it is stunningly useful.
It's called TOT.
TOT. And it's one of those things when they announced it, I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I downloaded it when it came out and tried it out, and immediate was like, I don't care
it's not
how
free.
long the trial period is. I need to
free.
give you money now.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, looks good, but text edit is free. But whatever.
No.
I'll look at it. No,
right.
Hey, yeah, we'll check it out.
Let's all right. So great show this week. Thank you guys, and let's go ahead and wrap it up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your questions and suggestions to our email address, feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter @intouchwithios. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee, where Steve D did a nice donation and supported the show this past week. We really appreciate it, Steve, and shout out to you for supporting the show. I'm glad you are enjoying listening to our show and learning things from us. We really appreciate it. You also can follow us on Twitter @intouchwithios. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you are notified when we are live streaming, which is usually on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios, where we post all the shows there, as well as the audio shows. And since YouTube's becoming a podcast platform, you'll be able to listen to the show, and you always have. So check that out. You also can visit our In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics that we discuss, including the ones that we did today, are flipped into that magazine. A lot of people enjoy reading that, so check that out. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Mimir, Pocket Pass, Overcast, and many others. But better yet, go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Twitter at DaveG65. Jeff Gamet, as always, such a thrill to have you here. Where can people find you?
Well, first, it's awesome to get to hang out with you and Warren. It's always a high point of my week.
Yeah, me too.
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, JGamet, on all those places. And most Tuesdays, Mac Voices Live. Here Thursdays with the two of you. Also on Thursdays, the Big Show. Then on Fridays, the Mac Show. And also the Context Machine with Brian Chaffin.
Great. That's a great show. Warren, where can people...
It's a lot of fun.
Thank you always for being here, Warren. We appreciate it. And where can people find you?
Facebook group, Mac to the Future. mostly with you guys, but Jeff, the feeling is super mutual. It's always fun and a pleasure. It's good conversations, and it's what it's all about. So
absolutely, it looks like Mac the Future's always had some great conversations. Have been good. You get a lot of help, and always witty responses from Warren. So go check that out.
Witty but insightful,
and informative. That's very good.
The heart of Back to the Future.
He is.
There's a very you have to understand sarcasm a little bit, and once you're there, it's good. So.
It's all good. Thanks. Appreciate it, Warren. And thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed doing it. And we'll talk again soon.